Food wasn't just food for me. It was my therapist, my babysitter, my reward, and my punishment, all wrapped up in a McDonald's bag or a bowl of pasta at 10 p.m. If you're over 60 and you've ever eaten a feeling instead of felt it, stay with me, because Tirzepatide didn't just shut off my appetite, it shut off my alarm system, and that was way scarier than I expected. I'm Mike, and this is Strings of Life, and if you're new here, I'm in my early 60s. I've lost 30 pounds on Tirzepatide. My blood pressure went from 145 over 98 down to 124 over 76. And I talk about this journey pretty openly on this channel because nobody else my age was talking about it, honestly. But today's not another here's my before and after menu video. Today, I want to talk about something underneath the food. Why the food was even there in the first place. Because when the drug quiets the noise, you find out real fast what you were actually trying to numb. For me, it wasn't hunger, it was stress, boredom, loneliness, and old habits from an entirely different decade of my life. So let's get into it. So prior to Tirzepatide, and I've spoken about this in a video already, I used to eat McDonald's for breakfast almost every day. I would reach for cookies, candy, chocolate, that really horrible sugary ice cream for snacks. Now, as I think back about it now, it really wasn't about hunger. It was about comfort. Eating that food made me feel more comfortable every single evening. There were many things that triggered this type of eating for me. It was running all these businesses that were running and the stress that brings to you. It was getting comfortable at night and feeling like there was just a pattern that I had to continue. And the thing is, food, it's always reliable. It doesn't talk back. It's there when you need it. And no matter what you do, it always seems to hit the spot. Then I got onto Tirzepatide and really didn't notice it in first week, but by the second week, I noticed how it just turned off the noise around food and hunger. It was alarming and amazing all at the same time. My appetite decreased incredibly. I barely could finish food that I could have eaten 5 of those things previously. Now, that's created this really weird emotional gap because when I used to think about food during all that time, now I have time to think about pretty much anything else. And I've spent some of that time bettering myself and doing better at the things that I just don't do that well at. But here's the thing that we have to be honest about. Tirzepatide, it treats the eating part, but not the reason you were eating in the first place. That's the part that you have to conquer completely on your own. I remember around week 3 or 4, sitting watching television with my wife and thinking, man, I need a snack. And I literally got up, I went to the cabinet and I looked in the cabinet for a snack. And my body was like, nah, I don't need it. It was a really weird feeling, but it was a really powerful feeling because that was the beginning of me understanding just how important the mind is when you're dealing with eating too much food. Now, this emotional eating, it did some things for me. It helped me de-stress. It helped me be less bored at night. But it did those things by making me more and more unhealthy. Now, men my age in their 60s were taught not to talk about their feelings. We were taught to keep those things on the inside. And so, in response, instead of talking to somebody about the problems that I was having or the feelings I was having or the stress I was having or the crazy work day I had just finished, I stuffed my face. I ate. I ate and I ate till I became almost 300 pounds. And then I was disgusted with myself, looking at myself in a mirror. But when you eat like this for decades, it just becomes a part of who you are. You don't even think about it anymore. You just reach for the food, stuff it in your mouth. Do it again, keep repeating until that epiphany, like me, when I looked in the mirror and I was like, you're disgusting and you need to lose weight. Now I had to find some things to fill in the time that food used to take up. So I started things like going for walks, walking on the treadmill, filming B-roll for all of the different YouTube channels that I run. That's a full-time job in and of itself. And I took the time that food used to take and I filmed and filmed so that I would have B-roll that was mine and I owned it for these videos. Now, recently I was really sick and I could not eat anything for 4 straight days. I lost a good 12, 13 pounds through that process. Then, as luck would have it, I had screwed up. And in that following week, it came time to dose my Tirzepatide. And I only had enough for half a dose. And I'll admit, I was a little panicked. And I thought, great, now I'm going to eat, and I'm going to gain back all of the weight that I lost while being sick, plus some. That didn't happen because instead of relapsing, I relied on the habits that I had been developing. And when I wanted a snack, I reached for some kind of protein, or I had a protein shake. I replaced the unhealthy eating with healthy eating. I learned to differentiate between, hey, I want to eat and I actually feel hungry. Those two things are very different. The I want to eat, you don't want to listen to that. The I feel hungry, yes, that means your body needs fuel. You'll feel things like I get hypoglycemic and I start to feel that feeling coming on. And then I know I need to at least have a protein shake. My sleep has gotten better because now my body goes to sleep in fat burning mode. And I know this because of my Lumen device that I use on a regular basis. My sleep has gotten better. My sleep debt has been handled. I use the Whoop and it tells me all this data. And my trend is going in the correct direction now when it comes to sleep. Now, currently, I try to eat 80% clean and 20% whatever I want within reason. And what does that mean? I try to eat 4 to 5 meals a day. So one of those meals could be In-N-Out burger if I want, but I'll skip the fries and I'll skip the soda. I will only have the burger. And they say that if you're hungry, rather than fries, eat 2 burgers. I've never done that because I couldn't possibly. I don't even finish the single burger that I get. But then the rest of the time I'm eating things like chicken, lean beef, tuna fish, peanut butter, just no snacks, just eating real food. I have protein shakes at least once a day to keep the protein up. If I'm doing well with protein, I skip the protein shake. But if I'm not, I add the protein shake in. Because when you're on Tirzepatide, hitting that protein number becomes essential. Food went from being my main event to just being fuel again. Now, the things that really helped me were tracking my macros. I track my protein, carbs, and fat with every meal and, of course, every day. Also, going to see my therapist and talking about my issues has helped a great deal. Toria not ordering snacks and bringing them into the house where then I'm tempted to eat them has also helped a great deal. Now, Tirzepatide has really helped me in every area, and my blood pressure is back down to a normal range of 124 over like 78, I believe. And my weight has gone down 30 total pounds since starting this 3 months ago. Now, 10 pounds a month might not seem like a lot, but to me, that's the perfect pacing for losing weight. Now, of course, all of this is not the goal. It's a side effect of all of the work that I'm doing. I've told you before in other videos how I have 3 critical issues. I have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, I have high blood pressure, and I have inflammation. Tirzepatide and losing weight fixes all 3 of those things, and that is the main goal. Now, if you're a man over 60 and you recognize your own menu and the things that I've talked about, you got to make the change. It's for your future. It's for your health. It's for your grandchildren and your children and your wife. You need to be in better health, and eating better is going to get you there. Now, it's very common to feel the way that you do and not want to talk to anybody. Men in our generation were taught that. So don't feel abnormal because you're not. Now, if you take away nothing else from this video, take this away with you. Tirzepatide, it's a great help for quieting down that hunger, quieting the ears so I don't hear, oh, I'm hungry, when I'm not. But it can't fix the emotional triggers. That's work you have to do on your own. And it's something you need to do. I tell people all the time, you can go to therapy and you can pay all this money and you can sit on a couch and you can chit chat there. But if you leave there and you leave everything back in the therapist's office and you don't do the work in between, you're just wasting your money. Do the work. Fix the emotional problems. The rest of the food baggage will go away and the pounds will drop off. And when you feel hungry, like real hunger, not the I want to eat thing, but the I am hungry thing, When you feel that, ask yourself, what are you hungry for? Avoid the crap and go for the good stuff. Look, losing the weight was never really the hard part. The hard part was figuring out what I was going to do with my feelings once food wasn't available to eat them anymore. I'm still figuring that out, honestly, but I'm not white-knuckling it through a candy bar at 10 p.m. anymore, and that's progress. I never expected from a weight loss drug. If any part of this hit close to home, tell me in the comments, what was your food actually doing for you before you started this? I read every comment. Hit subscribe if you're on this journey too, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Strings of Life, and let's keep it going.